Namaste, my dear friends. So today we continue with some wisdom sharing, and I want to touch a very important topic today, which is called the art of letting go and trusting the unknown. So life often asks us to release what we cling to what we're connected, and with what we're really want and enjoy. So letting go is not a weakness, it is a courage, trust, and surrender. It's eventually to anything that we have addiction in this physical world, well, eventually will fade away, eventually will get destroyed, eventually it will die. And that's why learning to let go from an early age creates a very healthy psychic and a very mature consciousness in which you can fully be present. You can value any moment, anything that you have in your life, or anybody, and at the same time, not being attached. And when you have learned to value and at the same time not being attached and easily to let go, this creates an unbelievable magic in your life. So the unknown is the space where the soul, creativity, and the higher guidance live. That once you let go of something that you were holding on so much, of course there will be a feeling that there's something unknown ahead of us. But only this unknown will allow you to have a step into a new reality, in the unknown reality. If we don't make a step to the unknown reality, we won't get a new reality, and we're going to get the old reality, of which many of us already know everything. And eventually, if it was bringing us such happiness and enjoyment, well, most probably you wouldn't be listening to this video, and I wouldn't be sharing with you on this issue, as it's a topic which starts from an early age and it finishes with any high-end spiritual guru and a teacher who is about to live this world, who might have also attachments, and the attachments not physical but love to their students, or love towards this reality, humanity, or anybody else. All of this is still an attachment, which is important to let go, because if we don't let go, we stay here, and we can stay here as long as we wish. As for God, there's no time and limitations, and eventually some souls end up going here in a cycle for over 1,000, tens of thousands, 100,000 times, some even 1,000,000. Imagine, over 1,000,000 times repeating this game called life in a variety of ways. So, what is valuable? When you recognize that attachment which you have, it can be connected with people, outcomes, plans, or any type of identities inside of our head. These are the things that eventually create a feeling of worrying inside. And it creates a habit of fear that when we love something a lot, or we attach to something, then we don't imagine how we can now live without it. For example, many young children are super addicted to sugar. Take away sugar, they start to cry. You take away a phone, which is super addictive, they start to cry. They don't imagine already their lives without sugar and phones. And this is like making children drug addict psychologically and physically from an early age. So eventually, when the person grows up, he will have to learn to let go of these addictions. And the sooner we know that letting go, it's a natural part of life, and the earlier we develop it, the more mature will be the soul, and easier it will overcome any challenges in life. So if you develop this quality in yourself, it will be passed on to your children. And through that, your children now, well, they won't be manipulated. They won't be so easily manipulated like the majority are. So understanding everything towards that which you're being attached to, this allows us to see how we can be mentally attached, emotionally attached, physically attached. It can be starting from the things that we do, going to the food that we eat, or having a relationship that we have, or material things. Many people, once they get rich, they really need to take care of their richness, and their life starts to run around how to protect that what I have created, and they forget the most important thing. It's that life which they were willing to create with that money. And many of them see that it didn't help them to make their life, let's say, more harmonic. Maybe it has a more fancy outlook, but the inner rottenness, which was before, usually it increases only with time without the correct spiritual work. So, for that reason, when we know that we have to learn to let go of things, there will always come this void of the unknown. And the earlier we learn to trust it, the better it is. As the unknown is not empty, it's alive with potential, guidance, and unseen paths which are just next to us. If you trust, if you trust it, if you trust your transformation, and you're trusting the unknown path that you're following, then it starts to emerge when we release the control and surrender to the life's intelligence and reality, or to God. And then you see that you're being guided even without you planning it. And this I've perfectly experienced many times in my life, but especially when I was on my strong spiritual journeys. One of my spiritual final tests, which I did after 13 years of spiritual practice, I went to Amsterdam and decided to organize their tourism business, to do it only by myself, to achieve it in 1 month, to earn enough money to go to India, and to create this tourism business that will bring me enough of money so I could self-sustain myself and organize this journey. And even though it was practice connected partly with the physical world, it was a super, 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 super spiritual practice, because when you don't have money, you have to follow signs. You have to be very careful. You have to be very open, and and it works 100%. It really like a magic. But if you're persistent enough, then eventually will bring you there, where logically you would never think that by following this path you would eventually end up there where you requested. So please, dears, know the unknown, even though that it's scary for the mind, it's a blessing if you learn to follow it. So what helps us to let go easier of the unknown? Daily practices which help me to let go. So first, conscious breathing to release tension and mental chatters. So if I have a situation where I feel a little bit overwhelmed, or I feel that I need extra energy, I just sit down in meditation and I do my breathing practices. Another thing you heard from me very often is second is journaling. When you don't have a friend or psychotherapist with you, you can work one-on-one on a daily basis like this. You can work with yourself through your journal, where you can put down what you feel, what came inside, what was the outcomes, everything. So everything inside of you, it's a reflection of that, what you can put on paper, and through that make it clear for yourself. Another thing, thirdly, except the journaling and the breath work, I would focus on literally just meditating. The meditation with the connection with your higher self, it's a great tool of letting go all the illusions which were implanted inside of us by the surrounding illusion. And mindful observation of life flow without attachment to outcomes. That you're, for example, are doing something, you're painting, you're dancing, and when you're doing it, you're doing for the sake of your enjoyment of doing the process, without the focus and aim to receive something for that. Because it's a very big difference when you're, for example, doing something for enjoyment, and you're doing something to get something out of it as an outcome. For example, I'm going to my Muay Thai trainings. I much enjoy them, and I very like how I feel later on after them. There's this feeling of self-satisfaction. And on the other hand, if I would have a really critical mindset, I could judge myself. So, oh, this training can be even better. Here I must do this better. I have to reach this goals. I have to reach this results. I have to do that. And then this destroys the process of enjoying that what I love. And what I love is simply to be in the flow of dance with my body, developing my stamina, feeling the connection with the other persons once we dance on the boxing field. And this is what I like. So if my mind was so strictly focused on achieving certain outcomes and results, I would be suffering many trainings simply because I will be too much self-judgmental towards the things that I want to achieve. So these are, for example, simple practices which can also help you in letting go of something. Because once you let go of a relationship, of a project, of addictions or traumas or whatsoever, emotions, past experience, these are the practices that can help you. Breathwork, journaling, going out, meditating, and literally consciously observing the reality without being so much attached towards the things that are happening inside. As eventually the soul's perspective is that soul is experiencing freedom when the mind stops cleaning and calling. We feel free when we don't judge ourselves. We feel free when we don't put a perception now on that or this topic, and we don't compare it. Remember my words. People that compare themselves with others suffer the most. If you want to suffer, please compare yourself with somebody else, and the suffering will happen like this. And if you will learn to stop comparing yourself or others with yourself, you're going to become free, unique, and independent. So stop being a slave, stop comparing your uniqueness with others, and stop comparing other people's uniqueness with yourself. Compare yourself only with yourself. Through that, you're going to get your personal freedom. Forget about everyone, because everybody are free in their own self-personal path of discoveries. Focus on yourself. Remember, like in a computer game, when you're playing it, you're not being distracted to tell other players how they need to play. You just play for yourself and you know why you came there. Same in life. Focus on yourself and know that our mind would rather distract on other people's problems rather than to deal with ours. So keep a balance of self-love, self-focus on that what matters to your soul, and it will really help you to overcome anything. Letting go invites inner clarity, intuition, and peace. Surrender is not giving up, it's an enlightenment with a deeper, wiser current. Soul knows everything. Do what your soul wants to do. Trust your soul. Make your own experiments by writing down what your mind thinks and wants, and then write down what your soul feels. And make a test. 3 times do what the soul feels and 3 times do what the mind thinks. And see the outcome. Where was the truth? Did you get the good results when you followed what only the mind said? Or you had the results what your soul was telling you? So, and study yourself and understanding how it works for you. And at least from my experience, for me and all people that I work, trusting our soul opens the tool of intuition. The soul knows much, 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 much more better than the mind, the real picture of reality, and the outcomes where the decisions and the, let's say, life will guide us if we follow this or that topic, or we will spend time with this and that person, or invest time into that and that habit, or into that business. Just know, you know everything inside. Learn to decode what you feel inside, and you'll become very free. So, making all of these conclusions stick together, first of all, life unfolds most beautifully when we release resistance and the trust to the unknown. Each act of letting go is a step closer to our higher self. So, courage and surrendering and the trust to the Trinity that opens the heart to life is a true mystery, and only you can unfold it. Follow your path. Let go of everything that doesn't serve you. Feel what you need. Focus on what you need. Trust yourself most of all, and listen to your soul on the highest form and level. And you'll become free, happy, independent, and you'll get the confidence of going out and discover the greatest mystery of this reality. You in this unbelievable world. So, darlings, namaste for today, and let's continue our deep wisdom, discovery, sharing, and mystery.